Cheers.
Cheers. Hello and welcome.
Subscribe, etc.
Subscribe.
Blah, blah, blah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Nerves.
Stress. I can't handle it anymore.
No. Yeah.
7-1 split.
7-1 split.
Sheehan on the bench.
It just...
That's it.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. When I saw the team, I immediately felt uneasy. The Springbok team.
Yes.
Yeah, I immediately looked at it. Even without the 7-1 split, I said it against Scotland. Okay, the result against Scotland was good. But the mix, the form, I think we still believe a lot of people will disagree. Heavily rely on Willie for our attack. He's the assist king.
But he's not in the...
He's not in the mix
he's
at
not
all.
In the team at all.
Yeah, not in the team at all. So, backline injuries. If we get more than one backline injury, I have said that Kwagga will move into the centres or something. I'm sure Reinach can play on the wing. He's very quick.
If Jesse Creel gets injured?
Yeah, you see, then it gets interesting.
What is it? We move Damian Willemse to inside and...
Dalenda outside.
Erge Snyman at fullback.
Erge Snyman at fullback. Frans van der Herbe at fly off.
Like maybe this is like super forward thinking and it's going to be like an amazing thing, but
Marco van Staden on the other wing.
Yeah.
No, look, it's basically a thing of just dying of stress until Saturday and watching the game, and if it works well, you're an absolute hero. If it backfires, you're the laughing stuff of the rugby world. But a lot of I was in sorry, I'm rambling, but I was in training yesterday with John Lafney de Jager, who did the training. So he's a South African tennis sort of little bit of an icon, I suppose. And he was Davis Cup captain, and he's coached some of the top players, worked with the mental side with rugby teams and this and that. And he said that in order to stay on top of things, you've got to make changes, and you've got to make brave changes. You can't just keep on doing the same thing.
Yeah,
you've got to. Something extreme needs to happen for you to rise out from the rest.
To gain a bit of an advantage.
Yes.
Because if you look at the two teams, and everyone's been saying it for the last month or whatever, is there's so little between them. Yes. And I'm assuming that's what you're referring to, that we need something to break that deadlock.
Yes.
And I'm just hoping that the 7-1 split is a big enough game changer to actually make that difference.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what if the pack comes on but it doesn't make the difference that we're hoping for?
Can also happen. Yeah, because so you'll have two forwards that will be supposedly more tired than two of our guys at some stage during the game.
Exactly. So is that going to make that much of a difference?
I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If you measure it against the All Blacks game, that's what they're going on.
But we were already winning. We were already winning in the All Blacks game when the new pack came on.
No, I look at these things, but I've looked at a lot of things that Rassie and Jacques have done in the past, and it just worries me. And afterwards, we have sometimes said, okay, look, if he never made the video, would we have beaten the British and Irish Lions?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
Yeah.
He just does these things.
It
completely changed the mindset of the referees for that series.
Yeah.
The long run repercussions were quite big, but I mean, who cares? Who cares now?
Yeah.
So,
and what effect, I wonder, did it? Well, it doesn't look like it had any effect when we look at the Irish team that was picked now.
Yeah.
5-3 split, normal. Nothing looks out of ordinary. Bundy Aki starting.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm surprised about is that Sheehan isn't starting.
Yes, it must be a bit of a fitness issue that they don't think that he can last 60 minutes.
Well, maybe he's countering. Maybe it's a counter to counter our firepower. He's like
should have a massive
superstar.
impact when he comes on.
Yeah.
But he's always been the starter. So the only thing I can think is that he's lacking a bit of match time. But I mean, it's not something that the Springboks really worry about. If they think someone is ready, they just throw them in. Okay, Eben was only out for a week now.
Yo, the thing about Eben.
Yeah.
I mean, he just had not a serious shoulder injury, but they just said it's 10 to 14 days. Now he's starting.
Yeah, 7 to 10.
Yeah, but then it changed to 10 to 14.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think they will start him if he's not ready. I think he's...
Sheehan.
No,
Eben.
Yeah, so the only big other thing is Dwayne and Willie being out.
Yeah.
Willie, people are divided about Willie. When I talk about Willie, I don't talk about his defensive ability because it's not great. But Willie sparked a revolution in Springbok attacking rugby. And I think he proved earlier this year that he makes our attack great.
Yeah.
So,
but Marnie is pretty expensive in his approach.
No, I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine.
It's not the end of the world that he's not there.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. Even Dwayne. Dwayne needs a bit of downtime. He's 37.
Yeah.
He needs a rest here and there. Maybe he'll be involved in the quarterfinals again or something like that. But I also watched, I don't know if you watched that, if you ended up watching the Jim Williams, Ronan O'Gara interview.
Jim, what's
not
his?
Williams.
Not Williams. Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Jim Williams. Who's
Can
Jim
someone
Williams?
who is Irish just tell me where, like, Ronan O'Gara's accent is like... It's very like, and I know it's like the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, South Africans have crazy accents, but wow.
Yeah, no, it's a proper Irish accent.
Is it proper Irish or is there some French?
I love that accent.
It's cool.
It sounds cool.
It's cool, but geez, like
very cool interview.
Yeah.
And what we've been saying all along, that the attack through the middle is going to be relentless. They're going to punch.
Short passes.
A dummy runner with someone behind him, or the shallow pass to the shallow runner, or a deep pass behind him. Most of it short, most of it accurate, at high pace. Shifting your defense, thinning your defense out on the outside because you're overcommitting in the midfield. And then comes the Johnny Sexton kick to the wing with short wingers. And if they explain it from their side, I'm like, we are completely done.
I don't want to hear it. It's kind of like, like in a court case when you first hear, when the other side starts, you're like, why am I here?
Yeah. So when he said it, I'm like, and then he said, no, then we're going to overcommit here and we're going to end up with seven defenders in the midfield and no one on the outside. And then they're going to throw the long pass. And I'm like, but Jock and Rassie know exactly how Ireland's going to play. And that's the big thing. They know exactly what we're going to do, and we know exactly what they're going to do. It's on the day, it's just who does it best.
Yes.
And everyone knows that the focus is going to be on putting Johnny Sexton under a lot of pressure and on crowding that middle area, defenders close to each other in the middle, close to the ball, and slightly wider defense on the outside, keeping someone on the outside for the chip kick, hopefully to cover, not getting everyone drawn in. And planning that absolutely perfectly, because if you can deny them quality short balls, then they get a little bit rattled. I don't know how secure the plan B is of what you do when those short balls don't go to hand, because obviously if the distance of the pass is quite short and you get trapped there's a lot of space behind you. If the pass is a long pass, there's a lot of time for people to come and cover and to come and help out. So if they do make a mistake there in the midfield and that ball gets kicked through, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So it can be exploited.
Yeah, my worry is, so everyone's talking about this power game and the 7-1 split, etc., as though we can overpower the Irish.
Yeah.
And they have an extremely hardcore pack, insanely hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh van der Fleer is like World Player of the Year for a reason. Their locks are amazing.
Yes.
Their props are hard.
And extremely skillful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doris, he's hard.
Quality players.
They're not going to stand back for us. So I'm worried that we don't have enough of an advantage in the pack.
Yeah.
To make that difference.
Yeah. I'm going to make a bold statement and just say that with what we picked our match day 23 man for man, I think is better than theirs. Better quality.
It is bold.
It is bold.
Sexton and Libbok.
No, but I mean, if I look at,
You just said man for man.
yeah, no, but I mean, not necessarily in that position. If it works, if the 7 guys come on, and they play really well and they make a big impact, hopefully the game's not gone by the time that they come on. Yeah. Thinking a little bit ahead, we definitely need at least a bonus point.
Yes, if the battle goes ill,
yeah,
we need a bonus point so we don't sit for the next 2 weeks stressing about Scotland beating, which I don't think is a possible. You never know.
You never know.
Maybe something happens.
Scotland can beat Ireland.
Can they beat them?
Maybe they decide to rest a few guys.
That's what I was wondering. Maybe they do that. Maybe they win with a bonus point against us.
Yeah.
And then they rest guys.
Then they're through.
Yeah.
Then they will end top of the log, basically, almost.
And I don't think the Irish care about playing against the All Blacks or France.
No, not really. They shouldn't. No. Yeah, so we're kind of hoping that Scotland don't score 4 tries against Tonga, which is the next day. So it's not a very long wait for us from a stress point of view.
Yeah.
But primarily, and we, with the URC and everything, I think all the Irish guys who follow the channel know that we've got an immense amount of respect for the Irish. And we honestly do not know what...
Have you seen the stat? They've won something like
27 out of 29 games.
Something crazy like
That's
that.
That's what Dwayne O'Gara said now.
That includes a tour of New Zealand, as in... I think the way
80%, over 80% win percentage.
That's like All Blacks level.
It's actually extremely weird that they're not the favourites for the tournament. That people are only basically... Most of the talk is still France All Blacks. Us a little bit, but sort of... We do weird stuff, so...
Yeah.
And we can implode. I said in the beginning that we must mentally prepare ourselves for the fact that we might not go past the quarterfinals, and I tell myself that every now and then, so that I don't go into a full depression after the quarterfinals if that does happen. But Ireland, for me, has to be up there with the favourites. Forget the choker tag and all that stuff. They are a brilliant team.
But it's not actually a playoff.
No.
Remember?
Yeah.
So
when it gets to the playoffs, the mental side of it is slightly different.
It's maybe different.
I think they'll be ready. I don't know.
This is an interesting stat as well that was a little bit of a mind bend for me. So the Springboks, when we are first to score, we generally win the game. Generally.
Okay.
This is now a general thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the Irish, very, very often, if they score second, they still win the game.
Okay.
So, there's been a lot of talk about us, if we score first, if we go ahead first, that we win the game then. But I mean, if Ireland is very good at coming from behind,
yes,
so it's going to be 18 minutes of just torture.
I think it takes a while for them to gel into that very fast, short pass, lots of dummy runners game that they play. We can put pressure on anyone in the world with our defence.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see.
What if this is the game where they break us? They break their whole defensive thing. What if this is the game?
Don't say things like that.
I don't want to say it. I just,
I hope it's not.
Yeah. Anyway, go Booker. Do you want to try a prediction or?
I think the Springboks, same close game. Ireland will score tries. Ireland will score at least 2 tries. So I'm going for a fairly close, something like a 18-25 Springboks.
18-25 Springboks.
Yeah.
Sure, that's a big margin.
That's what I said. 7 points.
I say closer. I say 22-19 Springboks.
Well, you have to say Springboks. You've got no choice.
I have to.
Okay.
Anyway,
cheers to that.
Can't wait.
Hope that happens.
Cheers.